All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of I Never Do Podcast. I'm your host, Mike G. Hi. Bring you new content about things as adults we just never knew about, whether it's being from upbringing or just not caring to really care to know about things. So here we're going to talk about a lot of things as far as relationship issues, how men and women communicate differently. Just the overall dynamics of certain issues that we tend to kind of run into a lot when we date and when we're in relationships, married versus single people as well. And also we're gonna just try to figure out exactly why those things happen and how they can be rectified if we care to really understand the opposite sex. Also, we're going to talk about at the Never New Podcast. We're going to talk about things financial wise. How to better manage our money, stock markets, all these things, because as adults, we just have to know these things. But like I say, if you grew up and you never had anybody focus on that and teaching you that, or if you never really focused on it yourself because you were just trying to survive through life, these are things that you just don't know about. And if you don't know about certain things, you're going to be fearful of them and you won't reach out and you won't try to change them. You just do with what you know. So here we want to just try to open up our minds, stimulate things, and just get the ball rolling on just becoming more knowledgeable people on certain things. Today's topic on episode 3 of our Never New Podcast, we're going to be talking about how comfortable are you with being uncomfortable? And let me say that again. Today's topic is how comfortable are you with being comfortable with being uncomfortable? I'm jacked that up twice, but you guys get the point. That topic to me encompasses a lot of things in life. A lot of people say the only way to grow is to put yourself in an uncomfortable position because that's the only way to grow, because you have to fight your way through it. And once you get through it, you'll become a better person because you've learned so many things. And I'm at liberty to believe that. I can definitely say, like, everything that I went into that was a negative in my life, I ended up probably coming out of it a better person. And I'll give examples. It's like, I remember when I lost my job about 10 years ago. And I just thought that was the end of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never found out a job that pays me the same amount. I'll never be able to, survive out here and whatnot. And I was really down. I thought that was like the ending of me. This is 10 years ago. I'm 27, 28. And lo and behold, not 2 months later did I find a better job. I ended up having a better career out of all that, making more money and everything. But at the time, I didn't see it that way because even though I didn't like the job as much as I should have, I just was comfortable with it because it paid me a certain amount. I had fun. I was familiar with it. It was just a comfortable thing. And it's almost as if some force, like maybe God forced me out of that position to help me grow into the person that I am today and in the situation that I am in today. So that's one of those things with being comfortable can hinder you. And that's where that being comfortable with being uncomfortable comes in. And the same thing goes for relationships. And here at this podcast, our Never New Podcast, our main focus is really on communication between men and women and just throwing things out there that we both struggle with when we deal with the opposite sex. So being uncomfortable in relationships is no different than being uncomfortable while you're at your job. A lot of us are in relationships that we feel like, this is not for me. This is not working. This is really something that I should not be in. However, on the flip, we're so comfortable in that situation because maybe we live together. Maybe we split bills, or maybe we have kids. So we say, hey, for the kids, I'll stick in here and I'll work it out. I'll just figure it out. Even though I'm not happy, even though I'm not the best version of myself in this situation, I'm just going to do it because it's comfortable. And the thoughts of me leaving, having to pay my own bills by myself, having to split time with the kids, and anything like that, it keeps us there. Hence the reason we're not comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that would be an example as far as in relationships. And I feel like a lot of us definitely have been in situations like that. Now, where I can commend a person for sticking in there for the kids and being there for the kids, I want to always point out the fact that that's not always a good thing. And I'll explain. A lot of times, if you and your significant other are not seeing eye to eye, you guys are not on the same page as far as how you feel about each other. When you involve kids, that can be a very devastating thing to a kid when you both are at each other's heads and throats every second of the day, or y'all not communicating effectively. You guys' energy is off, because believe it or not, kids pick up on all that. They pick up on all that. So while you guys are being comfortable staying in that relationship because, like I say, it's just the bills are paid and the kids are in one household and we're just making it work, kids pick up on that and they feed off that. And if you guys aren't happy, that kid won't be happy either. I don't care how you guys look at it and how you feel. You can only fake it for so long before the kid just sees it. They just sense it. And that's one of those things. It takes a strong person to really get to a point where you say, hey, I'm gonna leave a situation that I know that's not working for us or me or whatever. And in doing so, you do put yourself in a compromising position, because a lot of us don't like that type of what's the word I'm looking for? Conflict, almost, because it's coming a lot of times. Y'all go through the motions for so long. You guys get so used to the routine. Now you're going to break that routine, and that person's probably not going to like it. You know what I'm saying? But that's best for both of you. So you have to take that leap of faith and say, I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore. And all the fear that you have of not being able to survive on your own or being alone and all this, like, oh my God, I spent 5-10 years with this person. How am I going to recover? I don't have time to spend another 5 or 6 years and getting to know somebody else and this, that, and the other. I'm too busy for that. All those fears are going to slowly go away, because once you get out of that and you finally release yourself and you finally open yourself up to receive better energy and everything, you quickly learn, like, you know what, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, you're going to go through some moments or regret or just sadness and all that, but that's part of the growing process. So let's think about growth. Let's think about growth as in like working out, right? A lot of us, we go to the gym. We fake go to the gym, right? Let's say we haven't been to the gym in a year. Then we step our out of shape asses in there and we get the work in, right? After that first day, you feel good, right? You're like, yeah, man, I'm saying I feel when they got a good workout in, got some good cardio in, I'm in there. I can't wait to go tomorrow. I'm going to get it, And then later on that night, your muscles start aching. Now you're like, oh, man, I'm hurt, man. This is hurting. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make it tomorrow, man. I'm a little sore. And then you don't end up going. And then the next day, you don't go. And the next day you don't go. So basically, you just made yourself comfortable with just being in a state that you've already been in. You're not comfortable with being uncomfortable, i.e. you're not comfortable with going into that gym when you're a little sore and chasing that pain and working out more, because if anybody that works out on a regular tell you that pain that you have originally when you start working out, it definitely goes away within a week or two, after you really start going on a regular, because now your muscles have grown and have gotten used to the stress that you're putting on them. So now you don't leave there sore. You don't have the soreness like you used to have when you first started. And now working out is actually fun, because it's not a thing that you don't look forward to because of the hurt, So that's the being comfortable with being uncomfortable in a workout sense. And the same thing goes for relationships. You get out of it and you feel good. And I'm speaking from men's point of view, of course. And like I say, I can only speak from a man's point of view. Feels good. It feels good originally. It's like, whatever, I'm out here, I'm free. I can do what I want. And then days later, you're like, oh man, I miss this person. Like, what did I do? I can't, oh my gosh, nothing's going to ever amount to her or whoever. And it's like, geez, I think I messed up. But then you get through it. A couple of days later, a week or two goes by, and then you realize quickly, like, okay, now I'm out of this funk. I'm going to go enjoy my life again. I'm going to, not again, but just enjoy my life. I'm going to become the person that I wanted to become. You start doing things that you always wanted to do. You start taking other chances, and you start meeting other people, and you quickly realize, like, there's a lot of good people out here. I'm not alone in this situation and this, that, the other. Next thing you know, you meet the love of your life, maybe. I don't know. But that's the thing. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and be in that position in order to get to that point. Like I said, this topic goes into a lot of things, even like I say, even careers, relationships, working out, anything like this. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable is the only way to grow. You cannot grow in the same spot you are. What they say, a fish can only grow as big as the tank or body of water that they're in. So if I put you in a little bitty fish tank or tank this big, you can only get so big. But if I open you up to a world, if I open you up to a bigger tank, it's your growth just magnifies that much larger. So like I say, until you get out of that small tank that you know you've outgrown, you can never really manifest into the next level of your life. It's just not going to happen because you're restricted. You are truly restricted. I always tell people, I'm in the travel industry in my career, and I always tell people the best thing you can ever do, the best investment, the thing that you can never waste your money on is in traveling. The more you can see in life, the more you can get away from your natural surroundings and just get out and meet different people, see different things in life, the better off you are as far as your growth as a person, because now you have a more broader perspective of things that you probably never knew about. It's only so much you can Google stuff. It's only so many times you can hear word of mouth about things. A lot of times you have to go see it for yourself. And it's the most liberating thing that you can ever do when you actually go see certain things. Yeah, everybody's seen pictures of, the pyramids in Egypt. Everybody's seen, the pictures over in the Eiffel Tower and all that. But until you can actually go see these things, you don't really understand how great and how significant they are, And the more we sit behind our tablets and our phones and computers and just pretty much restrict ourselves from those moments, we can never really truly grow into the next level of ourselves. And also it goes for people as well. If we're only socializing, if we're only interacting with people in our immediate surroundings, we're limiting ourselves in the perspective of people, because I grew up in a neighborhood where, certain people only thought so far in advance. A lot of people didn't even think they were going to make it to a certain age if you talk to them. So how can I talk to a person that don't think they're going to make it to the age of 21 about something we're talking about when we're 50 or 60? That's not in their realm of things, because where we are, that's just something that doesn't happen essentially, right? But then I get out and I get around other people that see that and they actually think that. Then I can really start thinking and talking about those type things, and that's just me broadening my perspective and broadening my friendships and things like that, associates. So like I said, being comfortable with being uncomfortable is one of the most profound things you can ever do as a person and adult, because that also ties into, like I say, the things that you never knew. As a man, as a person, I've never been comfortable with telling a person what I did not know, because out of fear of people looking at me like I'm dumb almost. Like, how didn't you know about that? Like, what? I've been knowing about that since I was 6. Like, how didn't you know that? And I had to get over that feeling, because I had to always remember, like, I just wasn't taught that. That wasn't something that was a focal point in my family or just in my circles and stuff like that. So whether I'm learning it now at 37 or if I learned it back when I was 6, that has nothing to do with it. The thing is today, present day today, if I'm learning it today, that is the thing. Like, you've learned it. Now, like I say, what you do with it once you learn it, that's up to you, but at least now you've learned it. So even things like purchasing homes, credit's a big thing. Like, credit is a big thing for us, because like I say, nobody ever told us how important credit would be to us when we became adults as youth, at least in where I came from. It was just something that people talked about. You get to college, they send you a credit card, you swipe it up, you run the credit up, you never pay it back. It's kind of like free money in your head. You never think like, oh, one day I'm going to need that credit to purchase a home or purchase a car or get a loan or get an apartment. Like, nobody thinks about those things if you never were taught it, so you ruin it. And the next thing you know, you're spending 10 years of your life trying to fix it as an adult. And you just basically chasing your tail almost. You never really get to where you would have been if somebody would have told you about it earlier and you could have kept it the way it is. Now, when you tell certain people about that had that learning, they'll judge you sometimes. Like, what? That's crazy. My credit score is 800. It's been like that. I've always kept my credit up. And you start feeling lesser than that person, but it's like, well, why? Why am I feeling lesser than that person? Somebody actually probably sat down and explained to them why, And now that I know, it's like, I'm going to try to get it back. And now that I have a kid, I'm going to make sure that he doesn't make the same mistake I make, because that's what life is really about, right? It's about making sure the next generation is better off than you were. But going back to, like I say, like a lot of things, like when you talk about upbringing, our parents just didn't know about these things. So how could they teach us about them? You know, just think about it. A lot of our parents didn't go to college. You know, a lot of our parents didn't go to college. For me personally, my mom, single mother, worked multiple jobs. Man, my mom just made sure she had food on the table and clothes on her kids' back, and she did a great job in doing that. So a lot of times she didn't think to do those to talk about those things because, quite frankly, she probably didn't know about them. You know, and like I say, it's like as an adult now, I take pride in figuring things out that I didn't know about prior and applying them to my teachings to my son and others around me as well, if I can. You know, if I hear something about if somebody tells me something that they're going through and I got some knowledge of it, I feel obligated to let them know about that, you know, whether they ask for it or not, you know, because some people are not going to ask. Sometimes you just got to throw it out there like, hey, this is what it is. So like I say, you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Also, when you talk about your circle and your family and your friends, a lot of times you need to detach yourself from certain people, right? And where that may be an uncomfortable situation where you like, I've been friends with this person for years. I've been hanging with this person for years, or my cousin and this, that, and the other. You almost have to detach yourself from people because sometimes people do limit your growth potential as well. If I'm on something, if I have this going on over here and I'm trying to strive to be this great person in this realm over here, but yet the people that I'm associating with aren't on that, do you think that's going to help or hinder me from doing what I'm trying to do? I'm at liberty to say it's going to hinder you. So that's why I always say, like, it's not about me saying I'm going to cut my friends off. I'm going to cut my family off. It's just like, I have to deal with you accordingly from this day forward. You're not as big of a part of my life because I have to leave what we've been known to do and what we do here because I'm trying to go here. You know, and it may sound bad off the rip, but ultimately it's just what it is. You have to surround yourself with like-minded people on things that you want to accomplish because only they can understand where you're coming from. And they won't understand completely where you're coming from, but it will help aid you in becoming the person that you're looking to be and whole. And those people still have a place in your life. Like I say, you're not leaving them in the dust and never talking to them again. It's just that you have to allocate your time towards things and people that have like-minded things and energy and stuff, because if you don't, you will never grow. You will never grow. You'll stay stagnant. You'll stay stagnant in your ways. Even with, like I said, I think I briefly talked about this podcast last time. You know, I had to get comfortable with talking in front of a camera. I had to get comfortable with posting videos, making posts about, hey, I got this video up, because to me, it's like, that's an uncomfortable thing. Number one, I'm not a big social media person in a sense where I post a lot, but the only way to get content out is what? I have to post it. So I have to get over that. I have to get over that uncomfortable feel and get into a sense where it's like, I'm just trying to do what I feel like I'm destined to do, which is just drop this content, and whoever it sticks to, and that's what it is. And that's what I have to believe and have to know. Like, I'm doing something good, and I'm not bothering anybody by doing this. I'm not looking thirsty by doing this. It's like, people want to hear it. Some people want to hear this. So I have to get over the fact that, man, I don't want to be posting and people will be like, man, this guy got another video. That's crazy. Like, I have to get over that and just say, you know what? Somebody cares about this. Let me post it, because as therapeutic is for me, it may be therapeutic for them as well. You know, so that's the thing about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. To this day, I still struggle with certain things, even with, like I say, communicating with people. And like I say, that goes into being comfortable as well with being uncomfortable, because we discussed how when you show emotions and you talk about your feelings and emotions, that's a very compromising thing. That's a very uncomfortable thing for a lot of us. And we don't like to do it, and we don't want to do it. So when we decide to do it, it's a very scary thing. It's a very scary thing. And in being scared, it can go either way. Either we can never say anything, or we can say it and we say it totally wrong, you know? But the objective of being comfortable being uncomfortable is just to say something. And over time, you'll learn to deliver messages differently. You'll learn to say things and handle things differently. But until you really get into the habit of just growing and being a different type of person, not holding things in and just speaking your mind and just being comfortable with compromising situations, you can never really get in tune with that side of you. Like I say, relationships, man. Relationships is a very, very, I feel like it's a very, very big thing in relationships about people not being comfortable being uncomfortable. I think a lot of us are scared of commitment in a sense too, because especially the older you get, the more experiences you have, a lot of bad ones. And when you deal with a lot of bad situations, you tend to shut down and shut things out, and and your commitment level dwindles down because you feel like you can't trust people anymore. And a lot of times, a lot of us don't realize, but we just don't trust ourselves either, you know? So like a person like myself, I never committed 100% to any relationship I've ever had out of fear of something not going right, you know? So when you talk about people, it's like, do we self-sabotage ourselves a lot of times when we talk about being comfortable or being uncomfortable in relationships? I think so. You know, I think so, especially for men. I mean, a lot of us, we'll play the game of when I met you, you know, we just feeling each other out and all this. And even though we really, really like you, we still won't really put our real true feelings out there out of fear of not really getting the response that we want. And then the whole time, all their other person's doing is looking at you like, this guy don't really like me that much, this, that, and the other. And then next thing you know, that person's gone. And here you go like, oh my gosh, I didn't want that to happen. But then it's like, well, what do you expect was going to happen? You know, you never really opened up and allowed yourself to be heard and to grow with that person. And y'all grow as a couple because you were scared. You were scared to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, it's a broad thing. You know, I would love to discuss a lot of things under that umbrella. But I want you guys to comment. Like, how do you feel about being uncomfortable in situations? Are you comfortable? Are you not comfortable? Like, do you handle things in a way where you understand that it may not be the result that you want, but you know it's the right thing to do? Because I think a lot of us don't. I think a lot of us really don't go into situations like that. I think we really try to go into situations thinking of the worst possible thing, and we just run from it almost. We just don't deal with it, and that goes into the whole ghosting thing. Because I had a lot of women asking me like, why do guys ghost? And we're going to talk about that in another podcast too. Like, why do men ghost us? And it goes for women too. They ghost us too. And I always say like, it's because they're not comfortable letting you know like this ain't for me. So they just going to bounce, you know, like it's just what it is. Like it's that comfort level, you know? So like I say, we just want to get this out and we want to talk about it. Like I say, drop comments, guys. Let me know. I don't want this to be too long. People tell me like, yo, the price of limit is like 15-minute podcast. I don't know how to do that because I just be talking and however it ends. But like I say, I just want to know how you guys feel about that. Like, are you a comfortable person and when you're being in uncomfortable situations, or are you not? Like, and if you're not, why? Why? Is it from experiences in the past? Is it from just lack of like confidence? What is it? You know? So once again, I just want to thank you guys. This is, like I said, another episode I Never Knew podcast. I'm your host, Mike G. I'm gonna be posting this on YouTube, man. Like it, share it, please share it. Like it's a weird thing when you talk about like, hey guys, can you share my stuff? But at the end of the day, I guess the only way to get things out to other people is if my people, just share this. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know who it may stick to. You know. So like I said, if you like it. If you can share it, that means a lot to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. And I'll see you soon. Peace.